on a Monday afternoon, here we are. I'm going to share it with some musical friends where the fun, doggone it, never ends. How's it going out there? Thanks for all who tuned into our live streams over the weekend. That was good, clean fun. We had fun. We had some good, clean fun, and it felt a little dirty, too, in a wholesome, musical kind of way. Right, Dylan? Dylan likes to express himself through rhythm speak. Rhythm speak is how Dylan communicates. Rhythm speak. Rhythm speak. That's how Dylan communicates. Dylan speak. With his drums. Wow, did you hear that? It's a song about Dylan and his ways of communicating. Communicating. I don't know what that means. All right, folks. You know, it's Fishman Monday. We're live streaming. We're live streaming. Oh. Yeah, sometimes Dylan just busts a beat, and then I come in with some powerful chords. Maybe we'll do that now. what? Nothing like some rock and roll to embrace a Monday afternoon. Again, these are my new Fishman Fluence P90s, Gristle-tone P90s. I gotta tell you, I'm becoming more and more enamored with these sons of guns. Diggity doggone it. On this guitar, this is this Reverend guitar. It's coming out this spring. It's en route as we speak. They're being made right now. There are elves in Santa's workshop right now creating the hell out of these things. Putting some special juice on them. Magical. Magical juices. Right, Dylan? He communicated through rhythm speak once again. Magical. Anyway, so you got P90s without noise. Couple voices. They sound delicious. And they sound mega. Mega. It is a new camera. Thank you for noticing. We have a Sony a7 III in the fold. That's our straight-on camera. This camera is just a Logitech device that cues up on us. And then we got this one. The floor cam is also a little Logitech son of a gun. And then we're back to that sweet, sweet Sony baloney here. The juice is so good and delicious. Flo says, I'm enjoying my new Radio Free Gristle. Got the Jam CD, make for easy driving. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're digging it. I reissued an old CD of mine. I got the rights back to it. Radio Free Gristle. There are some jams on there, if I'm not mistaken. Dylan, am I right or am I right? There's some crazy jams on there. Remember this one that's on there? By the way, just a little FYI. I have found the magic sauce with my amp and this guitar. I go on the lead channel, and I turn on the lead channel on my amp, and I put the OTS on. And I'll mess around with a little bit of delay over here. I'll either have the longer delay on, it's going through the effects loop, or the shorter one. I'll turn the reverb. That's juicy. Shot, a real child of the corn. Lord, I did my best to get rich on that ended up tone. Well, I'm Well, I'm since the day I was born. Some call it spoiled, but I'm just torn. Well, I'm torn, yeah. Torn, 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 torn. Well, I'm torn, yeah. Torn, torn, kindness since the day I was born. So call me spoiled man, but I'm just torn. Well, I'm torn, 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 torn. Well, I'm torn, 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 torn. Yeah. Torn. Sometimes I say towing in that. I'm towing. Sometimes you don't realize what you're doing until you listen to it after the fact. Like, what the hell am I doing? I'm saying towing. I'm towing. It's like Elmer Fudd singing the damn song. He's not torn. He's not even real. But I'm towing. Dylan's towing. Woo! Dylan's towing. Well, I like it all, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings to you all out there in movie land. Sorry about the game. You know what? I'm going to tell you a little story about a man named Jed. I did watch the game yesterday. I rooted for the green and gold, but you know what? I'm to the point where I don't let it bring me down. I said to myself, oh, well, as my wife says to me sometime, that's on you. That's what I said to the green and gold after they lost. That's on you. You beat yourselves. You have no one to blame but yourselves. But that's okay because you have millions of dollars. That's what he kept on saying. Boy, Aaron Rodgers seems like he's really down. I wonder if he's going to just take a moment and go, oh, that's right. I have gajillions of dollars and I date models. I guess he's going to be all right. Am I right about that? Millions of dollars, dating models, or TV stars, or movie stars. What's he got to complain about? You know who wasn't crying? Sweet Giselle. Sweet Giselle. She said, Tom, nice job. And he said, thanks, Giselle. Thank you, Giselle. Thank you, Giselle. I went to Green Bay and raised hell. Thank you, Giselle. That's what Tom Brady said. That's right. Greetings from Manchester, UK. Greetings to you, Stephen. Hope you're doing well over there. Orion digs it in with Brady is the GOAT, the greatest of all Towium. Well, I'll tell you what, he certainly did the job yesterday. Oh, they did have 3 interceptions in that, and if the Packers would have done a little doing what they should have done. You know what? It's a game of. You know what's funny about football? I'm going to just digress about football because Dylan saw it in action. I didn't watch football all year, but all of a sudden, as soon as I turn it on, I'm suddenly an expert again. I know everything. I'm saying, you dumb sons of guns. That was stupid. Why didn't they do this? What happens to me? I turn into a beast. Every time I watch the green and gold, I turn into a savage beast. And I call them all kinds of names. And then I start calling Troy Aikman names. Then I started making the analogy of Troy Aikman and the 90s Dallas Cowboys as being Cobra Kai and Troy Aikman being Johnny Lawrence. which I thought was an apt comparison if you're a green and gold fan. Am I right or am I right? All right, enough of that. You can see I've got issues with football, so I don't watch it. It turns me into a madman. Turns me into a damn madman. What do you think about NAMM 2021? Well, Bill, I got to tell you, we did some online stuff. I did a thing for, of course, Fishman on Friday with the boys here. That was fantastic. And then I did something for Hal Leonard earlier in the day. And then we're going to do something for Reverend later on. We were going to try to do something, but, you know, with all the various things going on in the world, we were unable to make it happen. Werewolf of London. Boy, I wish I could remember all the words to that, Stephen. There's a lot of words in that. Ha-hoo, werewolves of Ashwaubenon is what I used to always sing. Werewolves of Ashwaubenon. Ashwaubenon is actually a town very near to Green Bay. So that's kind of a sore spot. Green and gold, what have you done? Anyway. All right. You know, one of the things I just want to show y'all is this. This neck pickup sounds so good. That's what I meant to do. How's it going out there? Greg, did you purchase that? Which guitar? Which one are you talking of? Speaking of. That feels good. Tell you what, that sound of that neck pickup. Oh, this is mine, Vernon. Yeah, this is one of my signature jobbers. My signature Reverend Gristlemaster 290. This is one of the prototypes, actually, with the new Fishman Gristle-tone P90s in it. There will also be a black one and a gold one, and they will be in stores, we're thinking by March. But as I like to say, during the COVID hours that we are currently living through, release dates are really more of a suggestion. Isn't that right, Dylan? Release dates are more of a suggestion. Jazzmaster or P90 pickup? Oh, they are very close, aren't they? I do like the way these P90s sound. Jazzmaster is I like the way Jazzmaster sound too, to be honest. But it's a little different vibe. What's the oldest Les Paul that I own? I'm not really that old. I have a custom shop from maybe 2013. I was going to buy a 55 refinned Les Paul, and I had it at the house, and I had it for a few months actually. And I just was I found myself not playing it. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna not get this one. But I did keep the 53 Tele. That I harvested a kidney for. And you know what? They're apparently you only need one. You only need one, Dylan. What? You only need one. How about a reverse headstock model? You know what, Brett? Let's just get this one out first. It's been so long. It was supposed to come out this summer, but of course, you know what happened? COVID-19. COVID-19. That happened. So. Gary asks an interesting question. He says, how much of the succulent tone is the amp versus the guitar? I'm going to say it's a fellowship. The amp is fantastic. There's just no doubt about it. But the combination is absolutely savage. And you can't forget the Fishman pickups. Nicely done, Dylan. Did you hear what he did there? Dylan spoke the magic of the P90 pickups from my friends at Fishman. Yeah, well, you know what we do? We can. Can you play Eruption on it? You know, I never figured out Eruption. I figured, back in the 80s, so many other youngsters had got the call to action to get their Eddie on and engage in spirited tapperoonie. I thought, you know what, y'all got that covered. I'm going to go over yonder and see what happens, sniff that out. And that's what I did. So I never have actually figured out Eruptione. But it's all right. To each their bone, as I like to say. What? The Fellowship of the Gristle. Correct, Michael.
I much prefer that.
The Fellowship of the Gristle.
I like that a lot more than
The Fellowship of the Gristle. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is an interesting question. Someone said, crappy guitar through great amp or great guitar through poopy amp if you had to be choosy. Josh Smith asked me this. He said, what would you rather have, a poopy amp or a poopy guitar if you had to pick one? What could you get? I said, well, the guitar's got to be good. I'll make a poopy amp sound however I need to make it sound. But if the guitar won't stay in tune, as I treat it like a farm animal, or if it just will not behave. That's the thing I just cannot tolerate. If a guitar will not stay in tune, I can get around it, but that's the kind of thing that drives me cray-cray. So an amplifier, I can hopefully make sound in some way, shape, or form presentable. And then as long as the guitar is behaving, then I can start doing my thing. Can you dig it? Nowadays, there is no excuse for having a crappy amp or guitar. Well, that's true. There are a variety of things available at a variety of different prices, and you can get really quality stuff at an equitable price these days. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much. Deacon said, loved your tribute stream the day of losing Eddie Van Halen. That was a tough one. I found out just as I was going on. That was crazy, but thank you. My guitars are okay. My fingers can't stay in tune. Todd, that sounds like a practice issue. Set the timer right now, every day. And it's all going to happen. I have not had a chance to play his new guitar yet, Steve, asking about Josh Smith. We had talked about it quite a while ago, and I knew it was coming, but he hadn't had any kind of prototypes when we were out. We were out there about a year ago at his place. A year exactly. We were out at Josh's place. We recorded some demos at his place and hung out and feasted like warriors of old. And then he came out and sat in with us at the Maui Sugar Mill there in Tarzana, California. Hey, Jason, Chase Dobie Ash, Jason, Chase Dobie Ash. What's going down? You're out in Colorado. I haven't been out to Colorado in a long time because of a little something called COVID-19. But diggity dog on it. Thank you, Bill. Bill says, I have the signature, the Greg signature, and it's awesome. Love the new KMT song you played for a couple. Oh, yeah. Thank you. That's a fun tune. Actually, Toby came up with that progression, and he sent me a little dossier of tunes, and I was messing around, and I've been messing around with it. Came with this. Reverend Billy Gibbons, always an inspiration, isn't it? David says, Cream City used to be my place before moving to Nashville. Any shops in the area that will work with me on the new Fender prices? Well, that I don't know. Cream City is still one of the places around this area that is the happening. Play some chicken picking song. Well, we can do it. Yeah, that was fun. Sometimes we just put some stuff together. Sometimes we just put some stuff together. All right. You know, I haven't played my other guitar in so long. Let's see what it sounds like. Because I'm just so enjoying the fat and the succulence of the big doggone 90s. Now let's go back to the Gristle-tone ticket of the tea persuasion. Of the tea persuasion. I like this three-tone sunburst. It calls to me as if by name, saying, "Come, you big son of a gun." Going down. My nose is in the sand. I'm going down, 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 babe. You know my nose is in the sand. Well, a cloud of dust has come over me, and I feel like I'm drowned in on dry land. Well, my father, he done told me, he said, son, don't rush to be a man. My father, he done told me, it's no fun to be a grown-up. Don't rush to be a man. Don't rush. But Lord knows I went on. Now I feel like I'm drowned in on dry land. told me a story about a dog who couldn't see too well. He was crossing the railroad tracks one day. The train cut off a piece of his tail. He turned around, never bothered to look up and down the rail, y'all. That dog lost his whole head, just looking for a little piece of tail. Yeah, yeah, going down, down lane. My nose is in the sand. How did that just come over me? He said, now I'm drowning on dry land. The dust was talking to me. Lord, my nose is in the sand. I'm going down, 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 babe. My nose is in the sand. A cloud of dust just come over me, yeah. And I feel like I'm a trapped in on dry land. Well, that was crazy. Yeah, sometimes I throw those little substitutions in there for a blues. That's the way they say it in Wisconsin. Actually, it sounds like a weird, I don't know what accent I'm doing there. The blues. It's a make-believe place. That last lick was a Jimmy, yes. That's correct. You are correct. Who is Greg Koch? He is the Dark Lord. Meow. Meow. I think it's questions out there. I could probably, what we got about? Yeah, Dylan, why don't you take a little break you take? Dylan's going to take a little break you take. Dylan's going to take a little break you take. Thank you, Dylan, for engaging in sweet musical congress with your father. Sweet musical congress. Oh, my pleasure. Gary, that fuzz space is a delicious morsel. As is the Jimmy Page one. Oh, that's fantastic. The other one's great too. The Pink Floyd. But I'll tell you what, plenty of gas under the hood in that fuzz space. Holy caramba. That's a fuzzilla. It'll take you. My buddy Gary from Big Knob Pedals. Glorious. I can dig it all, but didn't do. I can dig it all, but do. Talk about your blues chords. All right, I can do that. Is the new P91 with a Bigsby only? For now, yes. And the Bigsby works great. I've been having a lot of fun with that damn Bigsby. I can do the warbles on it because Reverend came up with a way they use Reeves Gabrels, great guitar player, and fellow Reverend Endorsi, and has a number of delicious signature guitars. He uses a old bike spring that he puts in the Bigsby, which allows you to do the warbles and makes them behave actually quite well. So when you get a Reverend guitar with a Bigsby on it, it's actually quite usable. And I say that because I think some people are used to using Bigsby's where it's like, I look at it and it goes out of tune. Damn you thing. With these, it is a friend. It's a friend of your musical activities. So there you have it. It's a friend to your musical activities. All right, I did a little thing there. It's just a blues, but sometimes I throw in some different stuff for the kids. I throw in some different stuff. This little turnaround is fun for the kids. Hang on. This freaking camera, I'm going to tell you what. It likes to ramble. Ramble on! This little turnaround's kind of fun. Okay, so I got the A string there at the 2nd fret. My pinky's up here on the B string there at 6th fret. And I got my pick on the damn A string with my right hand. And I'm using my ring finger on the B string. And then I just start bringing the B string down chromatically and the A string up chromatically. But then I keep going because I'm such a naughty boy. So that's the A string at the 6th fret, G string at the 6th fret, and then A string at 7, G string at 5, and then D string at 4, and G string at 5, and then I resolve it there. Again. Right? I'm going to turn off that snare because it's making a little extra noise. Can you dig it? G13 to a or sometimes I'll throw on this little C sharp diminished and go up on minor third and back again to the 1 to the 5 to the 1. That's a nice chord. This little G13 to F sharp 7 with a raised 5th, to an F13 to an E7 with a raised 5th, and then the I like doing this little turn arm where I'll go up to the B flat 13 to an E flat major 9 to a G sharp or whatever you want to call it, A flat 9 with a flatted 5th, back to the G. Vernon, this is actually another one of my signature guitars, so it is indeed mine. This little turn. Tony Riceism right there. Robert asked, does the P90s have a boost? It does indeed. Or a second voice that functions just like a boost. Oh. That's kind of... Snowy app. Can you dig it? For your listening and dining pleasure, that's what that was. Real good looking guitar. Thank you very much. I love this one. You know what? It's kind of interesting. We first came out with these guitars in a Blucifer which was a kind of a funky sonic blue. And then we had Wow Red, which was, Wow Red. And then Pow, yellow. And then we added Axis Purple. And then we did a Clockwork Orange and a black version that were out at Wildwood Guitars that were exclusive to them. And then when it got to be about the middle of last summer-ish, Ken called me up and from our friends at Reverend, he said, what color should we come out with for the new year? And I said, how about a 3-tone sunburst? And I sent him a picture of one that I was comparing it to, and by God, they hit it out of the park. It just looks magnificent. It's just beautiful. So the body is Carina. The neck is roasted maple, and it has my Fishman Fluence Gristle-tone pickups for Telecaster on board this damn thing. And 6105 frets, Mickey, 6105 frets, and a compound radius of, I believe it's 10 to 14, if I recall correctly. And man, it's just magnificent. I dig it. They do a good job. Jeffrey asked, do I prefer stop tail guitars over tremolo guitars? Well, I do. I guess I went through a phase where I was not using a tremolo arm for a while and just playing straight, telly type guitars because I got sick and tired of the tuning issues. But the plain truth is that I've amassed I developed a skill set with the tremolo arm that was lying dormant and needed to be reborn again because the Strat was my main guitar for a long period of time. So I started to engage in grabbing down at Mr. Wiggles and giving him a good steadfast rogering in a wholesome kind of musical way. That doesn't sound too weird, hopefully, but this is the internet, so people will take it wrong. What? Anyway, so I started to engage in having and that's why I wanted a Bigsby on the P90 guitar, because I wanted a unique beast that coupled the glorious sounds of those new P90s with the adventures of what Reverend does with their Bigsbys, which are quite usable. And as I said before, I can do warbles and all that kind of fun stuff. But Mr. Wiggles, that's right. Orestes, that's a fine Greek name, and I dig it. What's the best affordable telly? Well, I'd like to think this one. Of course, it's $1,500, which is maybe a little expensive for some people. Not that there's anything wrong with it. If you want to get a less expensive, there are a variety of different ones. Those classic vibe guitars, those Squire guitars are very good for the dough. I'm going to tell you that right now. But there you go. The difference between a 6105 and a 6150, I'm not sure. What I like about 6105s is, back in the day, folks, everyone would say, oh, you got to put jumbo frets on. But the problem was that they were tall, but they were also wide. And so as a result, there's more contact with the string, which can lead to funky intonation. So then they realized you just want them tall, you don't necessarily want them wide. And so that's why the 6105 became the beast. The beast. I will switch just, someone's asking about Strat. I do have my old Strat from back in the day. I ordered this guitar from Fender Custom Shop back in 1991, I believe. And this has got a different neck on it now, but it's also from the Custom Shop based on the other one. But the other one went a little cockeyed on me. Somehow the truss rod got stripped. But I did end up putting Fluence single with pickups in it. It sounds glorious. Turn this one up for a hot minute. Oh! Sounds good. Mm-hmm. weird tunings today. I don't know what. I need some new strings or something. That's why Mr. Wiggles drives me crazy. His guitar will behave just fine. All of a sudden, just at random, B string will be like, no, I'm sorry. It sounds good. Thanks, Greg. I always wondered about your jazz licks and chord voicings. How did you develop them? I see you did mention a lot your blues and country influence, but not jazz. Well, I did go to school for musics. And a book I learned a lot of, actually even before I went to school, I had a book called Jazz Guitar, the Blues. Warren Nunes wrote that book. It was a really cool book that took a blues progression, did basic blues, and then gradually started to make them more complicated. And I learned a lot of chord voicings out of that book. And then I went to school up in the University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. My teacher up there was Mike Irish, good lad. Taught me a lot of stuff, different chord voicings and so on and so forth. Taught me, the chords and the modes and how to use them and the different inversions and all the different string sets, and then how to transpose those or use them in the different modes. And then I just started adding to sauce, adding to flavor. I got a Joe Pass book that I was working on some different chord voice leading things, and I copped those. And I just see little various things and hear things and take them and redigest them. And that's all. But jazz-wise, I listened to all kinds of different people over the years. But George Benson was one of my early faves. Charlie Christian was one of I first was able to digest. Charlie Christian and Grant Green, Kenny Burrell. As I mentioned, George Benson. Larry Carlton was a jazz rock influence. Certainly Robin Ford. Mike Stern was a big one. John Schofield. People of this nature. Scott Henderson. Yeah, can you dig it? Django Reinhardt. Barney Kessel. People of this nature. Can you dig it? Howdy hey from Stevens Point. I like it. Dig it. The reason I asked Greg about your hand pain is because you've been playing for a long time. I was wondering if your joints ever bother you. No, I've been very fortunate in that regard. Although I will say, Sid, that as I get older, over the years, I've realized that at several different points, I don't have to play that hard if I'm doing X, Y, and Z. As a matter of fact, you don't have to exert much energy except for the exact moment that you need it. I know that sounds weird, but a lot of times we tense up. At least I do, and whether it's right hand or left hand. And there comes a time where you realize, no, you really don't have to do that. You only need to expend as much energy as you need to at the exact moment, as opposed to just gripping everything like, oh my God, I play this thing. I want to play this hard. I'm fish. So because I've economized my fingers pressure with both left and right hand, I've been relatively... actually very lucky with pain. I never get to the point where I can't play because of pain. Let's put it that way. Pat Martino, absolutely. Pat Martino, love that tone. And his, just the way that those notes just stick out. space between the notes. Even as fast, he's just got that way of attacking the strings, and those notes just stand out. What about picking hand? If Johnny Hanlon had to switch to a thumb pick, you know what? I've been fortunate in that regard. Thumb pick is really, I've said on more than one occasion that if I could do it all over again, I would have started with a thumb pick. But that ship has sailed, my friends. That ship has sailed for Dread. Who's the most underrated guitar player in your opinion? Oh boy, that's such a interesting quandary that happens on the Intergoogle. People are always curious about people not getting their just desserts. And then there's some people that are like totally into some people, and other people have no idea. Just the other day, I had on my YouTube channel, it was like, oh, the finest guitar player that nobody knows. I'm like, well, that's kind of a backhanded compliment. And you're like, you know what? Thankfully, enough people do. Sometimes the concept of enough is enough. Can you dig it? But it depends. There's all kinds of great musicians that need to be heard. But yeah, it's just, the internet is a great place. You can find all kinds of folks. You got to look and lurk. I got into old Jack Pearson. A lot of people have no idea who Jack Pearson is. He's magnificent. Every time I go down to Nashville, I go and check out old Jack Pearson. And it's a thing to behold, a thing of beauty and splendor. A man with a beautiful touch, great arsenal of musical knowledge, tasty, and always just inspiring to listen to when I go see old Jack Pearson. Plays slide like a warrior. Great blues player, great jazz player. One of the very few that can really do the jazz thing, but then turn it off and then be blues and really be blues. Because sometimes it's hard to extricate those two influences. There's some that can do it, and Jack is one of them. Jimmy Thackeray's fantastic. I remember seeing back in the day the Allman Brothers. I saw them in 1981 at Summerfest in Milwaukee. First time I ever saw them. My brain was blown when I saw that Savage Ensemble. But opening up for them was Jimmy Thackeray and the Nighthawks. And Jimmy Thackeray blew my mind because he was a blues playing son of a bitch with that strap. But he also did the Jimmy whammy stuff. Would go, and then into some stuff. He was magnificent. So yeah, Jimmy Thackeray is magnificent. Can you dig it? I feel Mike Bloomfield isn't as cherished as he. Well, Daniel, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, maybe there are some. I think in the guitar world, though, everyone knows who Bloomfield is. I mean, Bloomfield gets a lot of love, I think, in the guitar realm, and certainly back in the day, he was a superstar back in the '60s. But I mean, as far as that goes, but he kind of shunned. Going into a very, very commercial light. And then, of course, he did have problems with, substance abuse and so on and so forth. But I think in the guitar legend community, in the vintage kind of markety type of stuff, Bloomfield is held in pretty high regard. Lonnie Mack would be another one. I would say Lonnie Mack. That's a good example of someone who was a massive influence on a lot of people from Cream era Clapton to certainly Stevie Ray Vaughan, and just a magnificent guitarist and singer and songwriter. I didn't know who Lonnie Mack was until Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then I remember there was a drummer that moved to town here named Rick. It looks like it's spelled like Jaeger, but he said Jagger, a phonetic spelling. But anyway, he played drums with all kinds of people. Dave Mason's band, and he was in Crosby, Stills and Nash, and Young for a Tour, played on a bunch of different records. Anyways, Rick moved to town here, and I ended up playing with him, and he heard me playing. He's like, you sound a lot like Lonnie Mack. I go, that's weird. I haven't really listened to Lonnie Mack, but I've listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan. He goes, you should listen to Lonnie Mack. And then I did, and I was like, oh. And then I got really, and then we played, we gigged with Lonnie Mack 3 or 4 times, and I ended up sitting in with him, and he was always very complimentary. And I remember when the internet started, I reached out to him through his website, and his wife says, oh, Lonnie remembers you fondly. He calls you the guitar player from hell. I took that as a compliment. So, all good. Anyway, there you have it. Earl Hooker. There's someone that was, of course, he had a very brief stint, but very influential and magnificent. Slide playing, especially, it was just syrupy and delicious. Syrupy and delicious, yes. Gary says, I want to purchase the Greg combo, but I have an aversion to the blue. What should I do? Well, luckily for you, in March, I believe, according to Chris Vingelhoots from Koch Amps, he said that the black and the red versions should be arriving in the US of A. And I believe they will be at Wildwood Guitars. So there will be a black Tolex version and a red Tolex version of the Greg amp. There you go. What age did I start playing guitar? I started playing when I was 12 years of age. Rory Gallagher. Yeah, that's someone, I have to say I've fallen under the spell of Rory Gallagher. And but you know what? He is a legend, though. Let's be honest. He is a legend amongst many. As is Mick Taylor. I mean, Mick Taylor, yeah, you could say he was underrated, but he was a Rolling Stone. I'm just going to say that right now. Anyway, well, listen, folks, it's that time. It's 5:17 in the afternoon. Thanks so much. We could talk all day long about music and guitars. Danny Kerwin, I would say, an underappreciated soul. And really Peter Green. Well, Peter Green gets more love, certainly, than Danny Kerwin does. And Danny Kerwin deserves a lot of love because he wrote some great songs. His vibrato was magnificent. Danny Kerwin, ladies and gentlemen, from the early Fleetwood Mac days with Peter Green. And then afterwards, he stuck around for a couple records and was great. Kiln House is a great record, which I didn't get hip to until a few years ago, as a matter of fact. And then the record after that, Bare Trees. There's some good stuff on there as well. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Have a glorious remainder of your Monday. We're supposed to get some snow tonight here behind the Cheddar Curtain. I think we were supposed to get about 7 inches of snow. We shall see. We did clear out the garage so that we could park one of the cars in it. It was filled with boxes. Boxes of lots of boxes, ladies and gentlemen. But they're all out of there now. And now we have a vehicle in there so we can actually snow blow with ease. Anyways, maybe more information that you probably needed. Thanks so much, folks. We will see you on the morrow. We'll be back for the Wildwood live stream at 3 p.m. I believe I will have some new Reverend guitars that will be coming to me that I will play for that live stream, unless Wildwood has some other guitars in store for me. I do have to do yet a video on that 61 Wildwood 10 Strat. They said, man, that thing is awesome. It is awesome. Anyways, folks, thank you. We'll talk to you later.